Today we're talking about the invisible force that guides pretty much all of your choices, from the coffee you grab in the morning to the phone you're probably holding right now.
I mean, really think about it. Why that coffee? Why that car? Was it just a random split-second decision? Or was there something else going on kind of nudging you in one direction without you even noticing?
Well, that feeling you get about a brand, that instant thought or connection that fires in your brain when you see a logo, that is absolutely not an accident. It's all part of a very careful, very deliberate strategy.
And that strategy? It's called brand positioning. It's the invisible architecture that builds our preferences and, if done right, turns us from just another customer into a true loyal fan.
Okay, so what exactly is brand positioning? Let's open up the playbook for how companies win a special place in our hearts and minds.
At its heart, positioning is all about owning a specific piece of mental real estate. The goal isn't just for you to know the brand exists, the goal is for it to be the very first thing that pops into your head when you have a certain need.
We're going to break it down into 3 core plays. First, you've got to know your battlefield. Second, you need to find your unique superpower. And third, you have to create a rallying cry that guides every single thing you do.
So let's kick things off with play number 1. Before you can even think about winning, you have to know who you're up against. And trust me, it's not always who you'd expect.
This all comes down to what's called a competitive frame of reference. Basically, you have to decide, are you competing with the other soda right next to you on the shelf, or are you competing with any drink someone might grab to quench their thirst? That context, the frame you choose, it changes absolutely everything.
Just look at Starbucks. You might think they're just fighting other coffee shops, but they're not. They're also fighting McDonald's on convenience. They're fighting Nescafé on price and the comfort of your own home. And they're fighting your local cafe on charm. To win, they need a totally different game plan for each of those battles.
Okay, on to play number 2. You know the battlefield. Now you have to figure out how you're going to fight. And this really comes down to 2 big ideas: what makes you different, and, weirdly enough, what makes you the same.
It's a balancing act. On one hand, you've got your points of difference, or PODs. This is your superpower. It's the unique thing that only you can do. But on the other hand, you have points of parity, or POPs. Think of these as the table stakes, the bare minimum you need just to be allowed to play the game.
Method cleaning products are a perfect example of a killer POD. The cleaning aisle used to be so boring, right? Just a wall of ugly plastic. Method came along, and they didn't just sell soap. They sold beautiful, eco-friendly design that you actually wanted to leave out on your counter. That was their superpower. But here's a twist. Positioning isn't always about shouting about your strengths. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is to quietly fix a weakness.
And that's where points of parity become the hero. Remember the old Hyundai? For years, they were just the cheap option, but everyone figured the quality wasn't great. So they focused all their energy on just becoming good enough on reliability. They achieved parity, and that one move completely changed their story.
Okay, you want an advanced move? It's called straddle positioning. This is when a really smart brand figures out how to plant one foot in 2 completely different categories and then dominate the space in between.
And the all-time master of this is BMW. Back in the day, you could get a luxury car, something big and comfy, or you could get a performance car, something fast and loud. 2 separate worlds. BMW came along and just smashed them together, creating a car that was more luxurious than a sports car and sportier than a luxury car.
And they sealed the deal with that perfect slogan, the ultimate driving machine. It wasn't just a tagline. It was the definition of a brand new category that they now completely owned. That's a perfect straddle.
And that brings us to our final play, the brand mantra. Now, if positioning is all about the message you send to the outside world, the mantra is the soul of the brand on the inside. It's the rallying cry for the whole team.
Now, this is a really important distinction. A slogan is for customers, but a mantra is for employees. It's meant to be a super simple filter for every decision they make. If a new idea doesn't fit the mantra, they just don't do it. Simple as that.
And there is no better example than Nike. We all know just do it. But internally, inside Nike headquarters, the guiding light has always been authentic athletic performance. That 3-word phrase guides everything, from their shoe designs to the athletes they sponsor. It's what keeps them, Nike.
So, we've walked through the 3 big plays: knowing your battlefield, finding your superpower, and creating that internal rallying cry. Now let's see how it all comes together in a true masterclass of brand positioning.
Check this out. It's the Starbucks brand bullseye. Right in the middle, you've got their mantra,
rich, rewarding coffee experience. The next ring out, that's their key strengths in the table stakes, like a relaxing atmosphere versus being fairly priced. Then, the ring after that gives you the proof, the reasons you should believe them, like their barista training. And finally, that outer ring defines the brand's personality. It all works together perfectly.
And in the end, that's what this is all about. The strongest brands out there, the ones you really love, they don't just happen by accident. They are built piece by piece on a solid foundation of positioning. It's the silent strategy that shapes how we feel and what we buy.
So, I'll leave you with a question. Think about your favorite brand right now. What is the one single thing they have convinced you to believe about them? That belief, whether it's about performance or safety or just plain fun, that is the core of their position. And now, you know how they built it.